Welcome back, viewers. Good day once again. We are on our next lesson, which is on basketry. The question is, what is basketry? Basketry is the art of making containers and other flat objects. Making containers and other flat objects out of pliable materials such as cane, raffia, jute, palm leaves, um, coconut leaves, strips of card, strips of plastic, strips of paper, raffia, among others. So normally basketry produces containers, which is three-dimensional or object that can be viewed from all angles. But at times, you can have flat objects like the traditional uh, strainer used for sifting cereals. You can also have a traditional fan that is woven from coconut leaves. When they are cooking, they use that fan to blow the fire so that the charcoal can burn very well. At times too, you may go to an entertainment arena and they build something like a barrier which has been woven with cane and other materials. Sometimes they even use mats to do those barriers. All these are, although they are flat, they are all under basketry because they are all woven using pliable materials such as cane, raffia, palm leaves, coconut leaves, among others. Now, the question is, what are, explain the word pliable materials. Pliable materials are materials that can bend but does not easily break, or we can call it flexible solids. Now, the next question says, identify and explain the methods of basketry making. Please, we have methods and we have techniques. I always say methods are broad, whilst technique falls under methods. The tricks that we use for building the methods are what we call techniques. Then the methods of making basketry, we have coiling. Coiling is a method of wrapping flexible materials around a core side by side and sewing it to form a coiled container or flat object. So sometimes you can have a coiled container. At times, the course of coiling, you can produce something like a mat or a table cover, doormat, table mats, and others. We also have plating or what you call braiding. You have plating method or braiding method, which is the art of interlocking three or more strands at right angles. So we have braiding or plating method. You plait it to at right angles, three or more strands at right angles to produce a thick cord or rope, and then you again use it to produce a container or any desired object you like. Then we have twinning. Twinning method is twisting two flexible weavers around vertical spokes or sticks to produce a basketry object or item. Then we have the weaker method or what you call splint method. So we have weaker method or what you call splint method, which is twisting thin, rigid rods around upright pole. So you have an upright pole there, and you have uh, thin, rigid rods that are twisted around these rods or poles, right? To create a basketry object or item. Then we have a weaving method. It is a method of interlacing weavers over and under the sticks to form a container or a flat object. Then we have another method we call macrame. Macrame is a method of knotting thick strands or ropes to create a basketry object. Now we come to basketry techniques, basketry making techniques. One, we have what you call rounding technique, the technique of producing a basket by using only one weaver. And it cuts across whether coiling method, whether training method, whether wicker method, whether weaving method. You can use one weaver to weave or to produce them. Whether it is knotting, you can also double, you can use a single weaver to do the knotting. You can also double two ropes to do knotting. You can triple three weavers to do knotting, to do weaving, to do coiling, and to do all the other basketry making methods. So the tricks is what you are learning right now. We have pairing. Pairing is the technique of joining two weavers to produce a basketry object or basketry item. Then you have offsetting or what you call walling, the technique of joining three weavers to produce a basketry object or basketry item. Then we have slewing. Slewing is a technique of joining four or more weavers to produce a basketry object or basketry item. Then we have another technique. So please, in the basketry method, coiling appeared. In the basketry technique, coiling too appeared. So in the basketry technique, we have coiling and stitching technique, which is wrapping coils around a core material and stitching the coils together with fine threads or strips to form a basketry object or basketry item. Then we have plating. So in the methods, we have plating or braiding. In the technique too, we have plating or braiding too here, which is the technique of interlocking strands at right angles or in a checkerboard manner. Then we also have another technique we call random weave technique, which is weaving without a fixed pattern to create organic shapes. Then we have fitching. Fitching is twisting two rods tightly around each other between sticks to create a strong open work effect. Now we come to the next question, which says, draw and label the parts of a basket. Now look at the parts of the basket. We have the handle we see here, which is the part of the basket that is used for lifting the basket, right? They have the rim. The rim is the edge of a basket. They have this place we call body. The body is the whole round side or round, is a whole round, let me say vertical. Is a whole round vertical side of a basket. Then we have what you call the base. The base is the bottom of the basket. Then we have sticks. Look at the sticks. The sticks are the upright poles of a basket. These are the upright poles of a basket. That is what we call sticks. The fine strips that goes over and under the sticks, as you can see, are what you call weavers. Please. Now, the tools that we can use for making baskets, you can use knife, you can use cutter, you can even use crocheting pin, among others, to create a basket. You can also use sandpaper, right? And there are some, when you are using cane, you need to, after trimming off the peel, you can use sandpaper to sand the whole face to make it smooth. Then also, you can also have brush. After producing the basket, you can use wood lacquer to paint the interior and exterior walls, or you can even use white paint to paint both the inner, interior and exterior, and the whole part of the basket as well, right? So these are some of the tools that we can use for making basket, and the materials that we can use, as I've said, we can use cane, raffia, strips of paper, strips of card. You can use jute. You can even use crocheting threads to produce a basket or basketry objects. You can also use wood lacquer. You can use glue, shoemaker's glue, white glue, are all materials that are used for making basketry, right? So these are some of the things we have available, right? So at this juncture, I would like to draw the curtains down on basketry to have we move on to the next topic we call ceramics and pottery. Ceramics and pottery. I would like to, at this juncture, end the lesson. Thank you very much. In fact, I wish all of you good luck in your endeavors and your activities. I wish you a minimum of 8-1s and your first choice schools in SHS. God richly bless all of you. In Jesus' mighty name, I pray. Amen.